story tonight is about the man leading the global fight against the coronavirus. Or the man who should be leading this fight. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. He's the Director General of the World Health Organization. Dr. Ghebreyesus has the most important job in the world right now. His agency is in charge of the global response to the coronavirus pandemic. Ideally, it should be the WHO's response that should dominate the news. But it's Dr. Ghebreyesus who is in the headlines, and that too for all the wrong reasons. The Wuhan coronavirus is now a pandemic. It did not have to be. Almost 1 million people have been infected by it. The number could have been much smaller. The virus could have been stopped had China taken timely action instead of orchestrating a cover-up. China failed to contain the Wuhan virus. The world is paying the price for it now. Where does the WHO Director General come in the picture? He had a role which he did not fulfill. And now there is a big question mark over his credibility. Since the beginning of this outbreak, he has defended China. Not just defended, he even praised China. Is he blind to China's follies? Or is he turning a blind eye to China's actions? The whole world can see China's lapses, but the man who heads the World Health Organization says this in China's defense.
During my visit to Beijing last week, I was so impressed in my meeting with President Xi at his detailed knowledge of the outbreak and for his personal leadership, but also at his commitment from the words he told me I will share with you. We will take serious measures at the epicenter, at the source, in order to protect our people and also to prevent the spread of the virus to other countries.
Impressed, he says, by the personal leadership and commitment of the Chinese leader. And he said this in February. And with each such statement, his credibility and that of his organization takes a beating. The WHO is now being called the Wuhan Health Organization. I'm sure they're aware of how they're being slammed the world over, and yet they do not course correct. Do you wonder why? Why is the WHO so helpless? Why is Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus towing China's line? We dug into his past to look for the answers, and we stumbled on a very interesting story. Listen to this. Dr. Ghebreyesus, the man on your screen, comes from Ethiopia. His election as the WHO chief was unprecedented for two reasons. A, he was the first African to be appointed Director General, and B, he was the first non-doctor candidate to get this post. He's called Dr. Ghebreyesus, but he does not have a degree in medicine. He has a PhD in community health. So how did he become the WHO Director General? His appointment, in fact, any DG's appointment, is made through an election. And Dr. Ghebreyesus ran a successful campaign to get this job. He had powerful backers, no prizes for guessing who. The Chinese were backing him from the very beginning, and this is a matter of record. Dr. Ghebreyesus' campaign had China's support. Beijing voted in his favor. They even helped him whip the votes. And this is just one part of his link. The second part relates to his previous job. Dr. Ghebreyesus was the health minister of Ethiopia. His record was controversial. Many cited it as the reason why he should not be the chief of the WHO, but China prevailed. So what did he do wrong? Covered an epidemic. Would you believe it? Under him, the Ethiopian Health Ministry was accused of hiding suspected cases of cholera. He's done this in the past. The third part of our story features the First Lady of China. Her name is Peng Liyuan. She is President Xi Jinping's wife and a WHO Goodwill Ambassador. It's a post that she's held for many years. She was appointed under the previous Director General, but she has been working with the current one. We cannot prove how this influences his decision, but we can prove the proximity. Dr. Ghebreyesus has also served as the Foreign Minister of Ethiopia. For more than a decade now, Ethiopia's economy has been largely dependent on China. Between the years 2006 and 2015, China and Chinese entities have loaned more than $13 billion to Ethiopia. Dr. Ghebreyesus served as Foreign Minister from 2012 to 2016. Join the dots. And we're not done. Soon after taking office at the WHO, Dr. Ghebreyesus took a controversial decision. He proposed the name of Zimbabwe's dictator Robert Mugabe to become a WHO Goodwill Ambassador. Why is this curious? Because Robert Mugabe was China's man, financed and armed by the Chinese in the 1970s and supported for decades. The proposal to make him a WHO Goodwill Ambassador was met with outrage. Dr. Ghebreyesus had to drop the idea. And now once again, he's in the news for hiding an outbreak and making outrageous statements. Is this payback for China's support in 2017? The WHO is yet to acknowledge the evidence against China. Dr. Ghebreyesus now appears daily before the press explaining in detail the increasing number of cases every day and increasingly echoing Beijing's words. The World Health Organization was not always so compromised. When the SARS outbreak happened in 2003, the woman who led the WHO was Dr. Gro Harlem Brundtland. She took a historic decision then. She issued the WHO's first travel advisory in 55 years. It recommended against travel to and from southern China. She called Beijing out. She slammed China for covering up the outbreak, for muzzling whistleblowers, for censoring the media. 13 years on, China is following the same playbook, but this time after installing an ally at the head of the world body.